beauty of a cat crawler here, 2-ton Caterpiller. Definitely an older one with the tiller steering on the top. Nice little Caterpillar, this one. It is a runner. I've seen videos of it going. Hopefully they'll have it going later today. What do you got? Give it some choke.
I do have a vacuum. Yeah. I'm not even getting it.
It's the 60.
It's a fully operational machine, extremely rare. When it was brought over here, there's only 7 in the country. There's probably less than a dozen in the country at the moment, and that's in full working condition. So you've got a really, really rare machine here, ladies and gentlemen, the Caterpillar 60, 1928 here, ladies and gentlemen. Does have a reserve on it, as it was one of the very few items with a reserve here, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got a 42,050 to go. And I'll take a quarter, we'll add them up. At 42,050, at 4250, at 4250 I got. At 42, I tell you what, we'll throw in a vendor at 45, we'll add them up in 5. At 45,000, at 45,000 I got. At 45,000, at 45,000, at 50, at 50 I got. At 50,000, at 50,000 I got. At 50,000, at 50,000 at the back. At 50,000, come on, give me another 5. At 50,000 I got. At 50,000, tell you what, come on, till you're not looking. At 50,000, it's a cracking machine. At 50,000, I'll tell you what, I'll throw in one for the vendor at 55. At 55,000, one for the vendor at 55,000. At 55,000. At 55,000, team, where are you? At 55,000 for the vendor, we got 50, I want a vendor bid of 55. At 50,000, we got 50,000 with you, and on a vendor bid of 55. At 55,000 on a vendor bid on top. At 55,000, you want to have a look at here, ladies and gentlemen. At 55,000 on a vendor bid. At 55,000. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a 60,000. At 60,000, we are playing for keeps now. We are on the market. At 60,000, I got. At 60,000, all done at 60,000. Geez, that's a rare machine. That's still a good buy, but I'm going to lower the hammer and blow the boom. At 60,000, come on, give me a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, cracking machine. 60,000 sold. 60,000.
What's the number, sir?
60,000.
800, and you even got a body number.
9,000. At 9,000, I've got, I'll take your 1,000 prizes. The other lot with the reserve here, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close. At 9,000, where are we, girls? 9,000, I got. 9,000. 9,000 I got. I'm taking $1,000 rises. At 9,000 I got. 10. 10. At 10,000. At 10,000. At 10,000 I got. At 10,000 I got. At 10. At 10,000. At 10,000 I got. At 10,000 quick. At 10,000. 1, 2, 3. I tell you what, that's still a cracking machine. That's a full working machine. You sure just been driven up here. We got 10,000. At 10,000, I'll tell you what, I'll throw one in for the vendor at vendor 11. At 1. At 1,001, we're on a vendor bid. At 1,100 I got. At 1,100 quick. All done. 1,000, go and talk to him, 1,100, at 1,100, at 1,100, there's our high bidder, at 1,100, all done at 1,100, quick, all done. I tell you what, we're on a vendor bid, but I'm going to pass it your way, so we're going to pass it to buyer number 800, and we'll have a chat to you in a little bit. That's passed in to buyer number 800.